Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie. We have a look at today's racing at Greyville. Today, the 1st of November, and we're racing on the poly track that has been switched from the turf track due to wet turf track. So if you want to receive this video every day on YouTube, just click on the subscribe button and ring the bell. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and our contact details 0835855133. Let's quickly look to some feedback. We are having quite a very good run at this stage on the Vaal on the 29th of October. We gave you 6 winners from 10 races and mostly at good odds: 8 to 1, 10 to 1, 11 to 1, 15 to 2. And in the last one, Whirly, was back in from 13 to 1 to 6 to 1. And then at Fairview on Friday, we give you a 11 to 2 winner, a 13 to 10 winner, and Irish Fling, which was a 14 to 1 winner. And then yesterday, yes, I want to tell you a quick story. The other day, I was talking on one of the groups, and it was mentioned on the group that people say there's a lot of horses with longer price winning, and the guys were speculating on what the reason was. So I made a comment, I did a voice that I said, the biggest problem is that people don't use the correct tools. And and if you're a plumber, you use certain tools. If you're a carpenter, you use certain tools. And I, as a punter, there's one major tool that I use, and that is the computer form. And then I said to them, I used that computer form to find a runner on Saturday that was 50 to 1 that can possibly win a race. I never mentioned the name of the race or the horse, but that horse was number 14, Orowar, which I found, and at one stage yesterday was 50 to 1. The horse ran a very good race and was caught late by number 12, Bold Ransom, which was also originally one of my outsider selections. So if you followed that, number 14 paid 10 Rand 20 the place. I mean, obviously, if you punt a 50 to 1 shot, you must always play the places as well. So even if you did play it each way, you would have still been nicely in the money. And if you took the exacta, that would have paid the 12 and 14 paid 127 Rand. So, and then yesterday at Kenilworth, I also had four winners for you. Um, from 8 races, that's a 50%. Triple Jet 72, Miss Millstream I gave as an outright selection. Let me quickly just explain to you the thing between an outright selection and an outsider selection. When I give a selection, my first selection is always my outright selection. So that is the horse that I think will win the race. So here I gave you an outright winner at 16 to 1. An outsider selection is a horse that can either, I think, is an outsider that can either win or place. So yesterday I gave you, out of 8 races, I give you 4 outright selections to win at 7 to 2, 16 to 1, 22 to 10, and then the last one just ran away, won by 6 lengths at 19 to 10. All in all, 13 winners in 4 meetings. Now, if that is not good value or good tipping, I don't know. So I've got a special offer for you. I'm extending this to today, which is the first. If you pay today, you will get your subscription for November for 400 Rand instead of the normal 500 Rand. But if you till today, if you pay package free, you take the package for November and December, you can have both for 600 Rand. So for 200 Rand extra, you can have real value. And guys, I can tell you now, you're going to make that 600 Rand up very quickly. So take a subscription, because on a subscription, I give you different selections. I give you a race by race selection, an outright winner, and 2 possible outsider selections. Daily recommended all-to-come doubles. They often come in value bets at 6 to 1, best bet of the day, and I don't give you odds. I don't give you 8 to 10 or a 9 to 10. I give you value where you can make money. I have trifectas and quartet selections. I think yesterday again, one of the in one race, yes, it was race number 5. I gave you the quartet, and that quartet paid 2,903 Rand. at Kenilworth race 5. I tipped the quartet for 360 Rand. Then I also give you affordable PA and pick sixes, which you can play as is or you can add on. Often you'll find that I'm always out one leg on the pick six or one leg on the PA, but keep in mind that I never tip a pick six more than 150 Rand, and you can only add in so many selections. I go for 1%. I'd rather take a smaller payout than get nothing. So if you take and maybe you got a little bit more money, you can add on, and perhaps using my pick six as a base, then you can then catch the pick six. So that is that. Now let's, okay, I just wanted to show you, if you do subscribe, I add you to a group, and then you get the things, you get it in this form every day, by race selections, pick six, PA, quartet and trifecta selections. You get your value bet, your best bet, and then your two all to come doubles for the day that you can try. So let's now move on to the actual racing, and we're racing from Hollywood's Greyville. The race 1 starts at 12:15. It's a 1,000-meter maiden plate. Let's have a look at the betting. Here's number 14, Hux accepted, 13 to 10, 5 to 1, set the date, 11 to 2, Boogie Shoes, Empress Ella, 11 to 2, Never Ending Love, 12 to 1, The Affair, 16 to 1, Cachet, 15 to 1, 25 to 1, and longer the rest. So we have a very interesting situation here. We have this new trainer on the block, but he's not a new trainer. He's an old hand, Peter Muscat. He used to be Brett Crawford's assistant. He's going on his own now, and this is his first runner today. And it looks to me like Mr. Muscat wants to make sure that his first runner is a winner. This horse debuted very well on the 11th of October, ran on 22.1, fastest 400 to finish, which is quite good. Anything under 23 seconds is very good. Slow green, ran on, only thing is drawn 40 now on the poly. But on the poly, I'm not that worried about the draw, as I think that because then some of the horses come to the outside anyway, that is sometimes therefore not a problem. I just want to say in advance that some people want me to do more, cover more horses per race. Other people want me to make the video short. So in order to accommodate both camps, I try to make my video not longer than half an hour. What I do is I give you my outright selection, and then my two outsider selection, and then maybe I touch on one or two other horses in the race. My outsider selections here is number 6, Set the Date. Carl Hewitson, Give Me the Green Light. Wayne Grella on board. This horse has run nicely in PE, and I think he can bring in this form to this race, because the form in this race is not that strong. So therefore, I think Set the Date can be a nice outsider that you can include. And my other outsider selection is number 12, Boogie Shoes, also from draw 12, Gavin and Rita riding. This horse has been running nicely behind Magically has won again. Countess and Lynn won easily today, was going to run, but is scratched due to the service change. And then Admire Me, 4 rings behind Admire Me. And I think Boogie Shoes can run a decent race today. Definitely one to include into your play. So let's move on to race number 2, which is the maiden plate, over 1,600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows: Radame 16 to 10, Banzai Pipeline 53 to 10, Gazala Gallop 11 to 2, Zero Rated 11 to 2, Gigging 14 to 1, and 20 to 1, and better the rest. So here my first selection is number 7, Gazala Gallop. Last time this horse ran, I said to the guys, I think this horse is going to improve because of the longer distances. And today, now it's going to 1,600 meters. And I still think that this horse can improve more and can definitely be involved as when the photos are taken. As you can see, he got hampered late in his last run behind High Bull, and I'm sure Gazala Gallop will put up a huge effort today. Outsider selection in this race that I'm is number 3, Giggin, a Captain Noir by Norden Guest May. This horse, I think, is slowly improving. It's just nicely drawn at 3. Miller stable is in form, so look for improvement for number 3, Gigging, to maybe run into the placings. Then my other outsider selection is number 16, which is Cardboard Cowboy. He was a reserve, but is now in because of the scratchings. This horse always run there and about, but definitely a horse that you must include into your quartets. Yeah, then Banzai Pipeline, drawn 40 Lyle Hewitson. He's currently the leading jockey. And this horse has also improved quite nicely and definitely in with a huge chance not to be discarded and can fight out the finish with number 7. We now move on to race number 3, where we have another maiden plate, this time over 1700 meters. So let's have a look at the betting. Number 1 Q for you, 22 to 10, Capriccio 15 to 4, Crystal Cove 11 to 2, Shatina 11 to 2, Queen Isabella 6 to 1, Racy Stacy 10 to 1, 10 to 1 Laurel Lane, and 25 to 1, and better the rest. Not a very inspiring field, with the biggest respect to the owners and the trainers. And here in race number 3, my first selection is number 10, which is Shastina. This is a dynasty by Rakin May. This horse has only been running over 1200 and 1000, and I can tell you now that the 1700 meters will suit this horse. I'm sure Gavin just gave this horse 2 educational runs, and I think today you'll see the real deal at 11 to 2. Surely a nice price. My outsider selections is number 4, Laurel Lane. Laurel Lane cutting at 10 to 1. It run well over the 1400 meters, and then over 1800 meters faded a little bit, but I think a bit shorter today on the poly. Last time out the horse ran his last 2 races both on the poly. Here the horse ran in the future behind Caroluma. Caroluma did disappoint me yesterday a little bit, but still a good horse, and the horse drawn 4, so Laurel Lane definitely in with a chance to improve. And then number 7, Crystal Cove, a Nangari out of a Silvery Cove mare by Silvano. So Silvery Cove has thrown a few good horses. I know that for a fact. It's one of Doug Campbell's foundation mares, and definitely this horse improved last time over the 1600, and look for more improvement today with Muzi Yeni on. So then let's move on to race number 4, where we have a Pinnacle Stakes over 1700 meters. And the betting as follows. Number 7, Black Ball 9 to 10, Mount Anderson 19 to 10, Cap and Pride 10 to 1, Mine Grove 10 to 1, 10 to 1 Celeste, Marching Together 10 to 1, and then Scratch 2, 4, and 5. Yeah, I think with some of the scratchings, it makes it easier. My selection here is the big favorite, number 7, Black Ball. I do feel the Black Ball has got the class to win this race. Last time out, Gavin just gave it a pipe opener over 1200 meters, which was much too short. The 1700 meter course and distance, 1 run, 1 win. Warren Kennedy on board, definitely the horse to beat in this field. Then I also like the stable companion, which is number 9, Marching Together. Although it might be a little touch short for this horse, but being a small field, last time out ran in the Gold Cup fallings behind Papa Victory, had a small race coming back now, and I think can improve to be involved in the finish. My other outsider selection is number 1. Number 1 is Capian Pride. Now Capian Pride is a little bit out on the weights, but being a small field again, can be involved, and I can definitely maybe run into the placings, because this horse has also been course and distance, 1 run, 1 win. So definitely it likes the distance, already 4 winners, but look out for this one, including your quartet. Then we move down to race number 5, which is a interesting race. I'll tell you now why. It's a 80 handicap, computer form class C, average merit rating 73. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have Donald McDonald 2 to 1, Track Attack 28 to 10, Telahingis 72, Gentleman's Wager 5-1. Don't Look Back now 10-1, was 8-1 earlier. 14-1 Samsonite. Dream Destiny 16-22 Magari. Scratch 4, 6, and 9. Now in this race, you know that I have put together, outside of Genie, has put together a small syndicate where you can buy into our syndicate in 10% ownership of free horses. And one of those free horses that we have is Don't Look Back. So we will be holding funds. Last time out was the first time that ran for us. It did ran third, and the guys in the syndicate was very excited. So if you're also interested in joining this, please give me a shout on my number 083-585-5133. So what I did was, because we have this small interest, I did a bit of handicapping in this race. Now, the favorite is number 10, Donald McDonald. Now, when you have a look at Donald McDonald and Samsonite, they have met before. On the 27th of July, Samsonite ran behind Donald McDonald 5 lengths. But now, on that race, there's now, because of the apprentice, a 7.5 kilogram swing in the favor of Samsonite. So Samsonite then also ran behind Monarchy in the same race as Don't Look Back, as Donald McDonald. They both ran where Donald McDonald beat him by 3 lengths. But now, based on that run, Samsonite is better off 4 kilograms for a 3 kilogram for a 3 lengths beating, which bring him much closer to Donald McDonald. But now it doesn't end there. Samsonite and Don't Look Back met last time out behind Rose Run to Denmark, and Don't Look Back got beaten by Samsonite by a very, very, very short head. You can see here, was beaten by 0.25. It's just like it's like nothing. And now Don't Look Back has got a 1 kilogram swing in his favor. Now horses don't run on paper, but handicap. If you work on handicap, 80% of the time, the handicap will work out. So based on that Samsonite can actually beat the favorite Donald McDonald, but Don't Look Back can beat Samsonite. Therefore, Don't Look Back must have a realistic chance of winning this race. But the unknown factor to me is Teleangus. You know, we haven't met, and he's a fair horse. He ran against some fair opposition in Cape Town, but then again he beat a horse, Turn It Up Harvey, who he need to go to PE and had 3 runs in PE before he could win his maiden. Not that I'm saying, it's not his fault that the horse can't win. But then this horse is also run against Rock and Ringo, which won again yesterday. Black Belt is not a donkey. And last time out ran in a higher division behind Matherhorn, who got demoted last Saturday. So all in all, a very interesting race, and we will be watching it keenly with big interest, having a small interest on Don't Look Back. I would think a nice bet could be exacta box 1, 3, and 10, or maybe 1, 3, 10, and 11 exacta box, depending on how much money you have. But you might want to include those horses in your pick 6. So let's now move on to race number 6, where we have a merit rated 70, handicap class D, average merit rating 67. Now, here we have, guys, I just want to go back to race 5. If you do buy in, if you phone me today and you make your payment before this horse jumps, Don't Look Back, you can be part of the ownership of Don't Look Back. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? It's going to cost you 2050 plus VAT. You're looking at 2050 plus 15%. You put down 2,358 today, this morning, before 14:35. You can have a share in a horse that might win a race today. So then move on to race number 6, King Julian 3-1, Puccini 7-1, Galway 8-1, Fade to Black 8-1, the Neto 8 to 1, a whole new world 10 to 1, global Ash 10 to 1, 10 to 1, what a blast, 14 to 1, and better the field. So let's have a look at race number 6. Now, one thing I've learned over the years, and that is that you won't believe how many horses win a race, and then I never win a race, and then exactly to the date, a year later, they win a race. Now, here's a horse which I chose before I saw that, but then after I've now made my decision, I actually saw that. The Neto won on the 2nd of the 3rd of November at Greyville over 1400 meters. And that is 364 days ago. And that was, and now he's had a few runs, and he's been running in higher divisions where he's running today. Today he's running in a 67. He was competing in an 84, 81, not being beating far. And here we have Run to Denmark. Run to Denmark is the horse that in the previous race we saw beat Samsonite. They Run to Denmark and also beat Don't Look Back. So the form has also been proved in that race. So now here we have the Neto, and his mare rating has come down from an 83 to a 69. Running for Mark Dixon and Aries, who recently also had a few winners, but has been competing out of his maiden straight into a B division against Gigi's Dynasty, which is no donkey. African Sandra has a good horse. Run to Donmag has won again. Bayview Express won 2 or 3 races. So I am thinking that today the Neto must have more than an average chance to win this race. Then for outsider selection, I'm going for number 8, Global Ads. I know it's a 3-year-old, only had 2 races. Centered Ash has given a few winners. This horse won well in Port Elizabeth over the 1400 meters. Lyle Hewitson for his father, and I think Global Ads will definitely not be out of his class in this race. My other outsider selection is number 11, What a Blast, Lorena. This horse always runs there and thereabouts, was also running in that Run to Denmark race, only 3 lengths behind, made progress, and is now also down in class. I've been running in an 81, 76, 78, and now running in a 67. Therefore, I do think being down in class a little bit will definitely assist What a Blast. But there are other horses with chances. Master of Destiny is the favorite, has also been running there and thereabouts, also in a little bit higher class. If Telehangus runs a big race today, then Master of Destiny must have a huge chance in this race. So have a look out for that. Has also been running in a little bit higher divisions. So number 2, Master of Destiny, not without a prayer. Here we have Galway. Galway drawn 1. Also always give of his best, but has been winning in lower divisions, but can improve. But carrying a 60 kilogram, I think with that on his weight and this being, I'm not so sure if Galway can win today, but anything is possible. So let's move on to race number 7, which is the Model Man listed 69 meters, class B 87. Here the betting is as follows. Number 6, Native Tongue 2 to 1, Fight Song 4 to 1, Trade 59 to 2, Shavut 11 to 2, Brazil 9 10 to 1, Rises Went 10 to 1, High Bill 14, and Bold Horizon 20, Purple Panther is a scratching. So here in my race, my first selection is number 6, Native Tongue. Native Tongue ran in a novice last week and was just run out of it. But before that, ran behind Sent by Destiny in a Group 1, just under 4 lengths. And also behind Winter Stories, that was also a small future. So it has been running against strong opposition. And I think if Gavin van Niekerk can go close. I think his biggest opposition can come from Fight Song, who was just behind him in the race behind Sent by Destiny, but that day was drawn 14 out of 14. Although again to draw today 9 out of 9, 9 out of 9 is not that bad. And before that did beat the solution over the 1400 meters. Rises one has won 2 races. Duke of Marmalade Filly can improve, can be involved in the finish. I think there's lots of horses of chances in this race. Tread Swiftly, I think, can also improve over the longer distance, being by a Jetmaster May. And then number 1, Brazelnut. I'm not sure if Brazelnut will be able to run over the 1600 meters, but it should be being a JPEG by Captain L. So watch for this one. So then we move to race number 8. Race number 8 being Fisher Mare's handicap 85 over 1400 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 11, Maiden's Prize 72, Cherry Road 4-1, Arabesta 6-1, Flashy Katerina 6-1, 10-1 at Miami, Someone Exciting 10, Jackson Walls 10, 20-1, and longer the rest. Here in race 8, my first selection is number 12, Cherry Road. Another Gavin van Sale inmate, Cherry Road. We're running in race 8, we're running on a C division average mare rating of 78. Last time out, this horse ran on well over 1,100 meters behind Flashy Katerina, which I do feel was too short. And being a version Getrich out of a model mine mare, definitely the longer would suit. Has been running well before, beating Diamonds and Pearls. Diamonds and Pearls, definitely no donkey herself. So has run this course and distance, 1 run, 1 win. So definitely this will not be a problem for me. Outsider selection, in my Down to Earth, also from Gavin van Sale, drawn 10, has also been running well. One follow-up is maiden with another race and ran an 86, 87 and a B division against Perfect Air, which was a strong field that day. Now down in class, can definitely also feature in the finish. And my other outsider selection is number 7, Someone Exciting, Lyle Hewitson. This also always runs on well at the end. If you can see here, fastest 400 to finish in out of his last 5 runs. He was 3 times fastest 400 to finish, which shows that this horse always runs on from behind, and with Lyle Hewitson on board, can make the difference. There are other horses of chances in this race. Flashy Katerina, I also think, can be involved in the finish. It will be the first time that she's going over the 1400 meters, but the way she runs on at the end, I don't think that will be a problem. Just for interest sake, this Almigdam is a stallion that when I had a farm with my late friend Lenny Taylor, we had we acquired this from the Sheikh through Mark de Kock, the stallion Almigdam, and he always had potential, but at the end of the day, it never came through. He has thrown some nice winners, and Flashy Katerina being one of them. So let's move on to race number 9. Race number 9 is a Bright Future Ferris Amir 86 over the 1,000 meters class C, average merit rating 79. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows. Window to Africa 4-1, Words of Oz 4-1, Yars 11-2, Captain of Color 6-1, Solar Flare 7-1, 11, 10-1, Yes Sir I Can Boogie 6-1, 20-1, and better the rest. And number 3 and 4 scratchings. So here in race number 9, my first selection is number 9, Yes Sir I Can Boogie. Gabriel van Sale Jr. He also had the scratching in, which was a grade 1 winner. But this horse, last time out, came after a bit of a rest, and he ran 6 lengths behind Great Sharka. Great Sharka ran in a big race yesterday at Turfontein, and this race is an average minute at 79, This horse has been running 90s and 83s. And before that, ran against Sing for Rafa, which was also in that race yesterday. And Miss Florida, who also won the Allen, this was the Allen Robinson. She was less than 2 lengths behind in the Allison Robinson. And then I don't know what happened behind Montreal Mist. And then came back at the Vaal on the 30th of June and ran second to Summer Afternoon. And I think Yes Sir Boogie can be too strong for this field. I think currently at 6-1. You earlier this morning, this horse was 14-1. So there's surely big money for Yes Sir I Can Boogie. Maybe you should get on. I couldn't believe it now because I wrote it down here at that stage. The horse was 13-1. So definitely a few guys that is noticing that this horse might be involved in, well, can win this race. Outsider selections is 8-1. I guess number 8. Captain of Color also ran in a little bit higher division and has always been there and bouts. And I think with Gavin Arena on board today, can be involved in the finish. My other outsider selection is number 12, which is Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz won a nice race last time, also in a higher division in an 84. Came from behind with a nice rattle to win the race, can also follow up on that. So all in all, the last race, a very open race, lots of horses with chances. Yes, Window to Africa, which got a chance. Also, Gavin right on board, but I think that there are horses of stronger form in this race than Window to Africa. Um, just tell me, Worldy, I don't know if you guys can remember, but on the 27th of September last year, Wildly in Love ran in this a strong field, and it's not Wild in Love. Now I'm confused with another horse. Just ignore that. So anyway, that will bring us then to the end of our preview. I hope that I can point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.